Yes, people, we are here. I tell you, Jonelle is ready. She is ready for the road. Hey, what's going on, Anna? How you doing?
I'm good.
Oh,
How are you?
we're very well, thank you, Rocco.
All right,
How are you
everything
this
up.
evening?
Oh man, I'm ready for this right now, y'all. I'm ready for this. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for this, man. Hey, what's going on, Janelle?
Everything's good over here. You already know. I'm good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. So let's get started right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, people, we got Janelle all the way from Vancouver, Canada, in the studio on the Friday Night Vibes with my co-host LadyAna out at TNT of Trinidad and Tobago. So first of all, let's start it off with you, Janelle. Where were you born?
I was born in Brampton, Ontario, Canada.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So maybe you could tell the listeners right now, a little bit when you were a kid. I mean, what was life like for when you were a kid?
Oh shoot, we're going far back. Okay. When I was a kid, um, I was really active. I wasn't really like doing music the way that I'm doing it now, but I first started off singing in church, and then I got into playing an instrument. I started playing the trumpet in the 5th grade, and so I started learning music classically, and I started learning music theory and all that good stuff. Um, then when I got a little bit older, maybe like closer to my teenage years, maybe in my teenage years, yeah, I started like composing music on like a music staff. But like mostly music was just something that I did for fun. I was mostly an athlete at the time. Yeah.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So, what were your schooling like? I mean, tell us a little about you when you were in school. I mean, were you like this real good girl, or kind of a little naughty girl at times?
I was a good girl in the sense where I never really like got in trouble, but I used to give enough trouble. But I never used to get catch. That was the good part. So my
so you were one of them you were one of them who do a lot of stuff but never get caught.
Yeah, because well, here's the thing. Like, I was really set on my athletics. Like, I really told myself like I'm gonna get a full scholarship anyways. So like, I don't really care. So I don't know. I was just not the type of person who really cared about school, which I don't want to encourage people to think like that. You know what I'm saying? But for me personally, I just knew that I wouldn't be working a 9 to 5. So I just had that in my head already. And so like, yeah, when I was in school, I was really active in school. I was in band, I was in choir, and then I was on like the basketball team, the track and field team. And at the time I had just started track and field, and then I made Team Canada. So like for me at school, I was like my school's prodigy. They loved me because I was like a Canadian athlete, and maybe my academics weren't up there because I skipped class and stuff like that, but I was a really good athlete, and I was in the newspaper a lot, so my school kind of let me do what I want.
All right. You know what? Before we give the listeners, before I put you on the stand right now and get too deep, I give my co-host the honor, basically, to just read a little bio about you right now.
But before we get into the bio about Janelle, do you have any other like brothers and sisters and so on?
Yeah, I do. I have 3 siblings. I have a sister on my mom's side, and then on my dad's side, I have 2 younger sisters. They're like super young. They're like 11 and 10. And then my other sister for my mom's side, she's like 24, I think.
You got young siblings, man.
Yeah.
That tells me your mama is a young lady.
Yes, my mom.
Big up your mama. All right, so let me give my co-host the honor to definitely read your bio right now, because I'm sure there's a lot more to Janelle, people, before we divulge into the background of Janelle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into a little bio here, a short little bio about Janelle. And so our listeners out there, you would be happy to know that Janelle is a singer, songwriter, and a producer from Flower City, Ontario, Canada. She has had a passion for music from a very, very young age. She started singing from about 6 years, and a few years later, she started playing the trumpet. The artist's first single, Sunshine, was written when she was just 16 and was able to live her dream by recording it in 2019. With all the elements of redefining love, Janelle writes about her first hand experiences of cultivating love in a hard and toxic world. Her music is extremely relatable in both understanding self and romantic love. I'm sure she's going to share with us about romantic love tonight, Rocco.
You guys, we're getting deep.
And also the many misconceptions of what it has become today. Janelle has an original style, sourcing her inspiration from reggae, Afrobeat, hip hop, R&B, and jazz, just to name a few. This talented singer who is here gracing the studios of UVC Radio tonight is expressive, and her versatility will make all of you want to listen to her music over and over again. So we have this pleasure of this saucy young lady in studio with us tonight, Rocco.
Oh yeah, man. That's yo. That's good, man. That's good. You know what I'm saying? That's good. So the naughty Janelle that never get caught.
Yes, I don't get catch. You're too cool.
You see, she's wise. She's wise in what she does.
Exactly. You use the right word. Wise.
Yes, only women can do that, you know, Janelle.
Listen, I'm not encouraging anybody to do what I did, okay? I was going through a lot.
Yeah. So tell us, Janelle, you actually say you play instrument, you know, growing up and stuff like that. Or the trumpet.
Yeah.
What was that experience like playing the trumpet, man?
I loved it. You know, the trumpet, just like anything else that like you really put your mind to, it got me, you know, a lot of opportunities. I was able to play for my school's assembly. You know, it was fun. Like I really pursued it up until I was, like I graduated high school. It was something that I enjoyed to do. Like I played it at church. Like I got to go to Florida and compete in like music competitions. I went to Boston and competed with my jazz band at the time and also with my school choir. So like, yeah, I got, the trumpet has definitely been great. I don't play it as often as I used to because I just got a new one, but I definitely see myself getting back into it, you know, so that I can incorporate it into my stage performance.
Awesome.
Want to tell us a little bit about Sunshine, that song?
Yeah, sure. So Sunshine is just like, you know, your typical love song, but I wrote it when I was like 16, I think. So what inspired this song was Nicki Minaj, Your Love. It was just a song that I always listened to, and I can't tell you the lyrics of Nicki Minaj's song because I never sang Nicki Minaj's song. However, I really like the beat. And so what I would do is I would find the instrumental for that song. And then I wrote my song Sunshine over that beat. And then the version that you hear now is like a recreated version. But yeah, that song is what inspired it originally. And I just wrote it kind of as like, you know, just for fun. But I never forgot the lyrics. And so when the time came, I actually recorded it. So it was pretty cool to actually see it manifest and come to you know, to life.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Alright.
So, I mean, we all know you start playing in the church and stuff like that, playing the trumpet.
Yeah.
But what really actually prompt you, really push you? Where do you got an inspiration from to become a singer?
You want to hear a joke? Okay.
Yeah, to become a recording artist.
So like, to become a recording artist or play my trumpet?
Well, let's start with the recording artist first. Then we're gonna get to that trumpet thing.
Oh, okay. So, well, you know, I don't know. I feel like I always had it in me, but because I was in the church, I had my doubts because I didn't want to sing gospel music. So it wasn't something that I thought that I could actually do. Um, but I was encouraged to try it, and I gave it a try, and I loved it. And it wasn't something that I didn't like at first. Like, I always loved it. I just didn't necessarily have the confidence to do it. And so once I started to believe in myself and develop the confidence, it just became more and more natural. I saw how naturally it came to me. So, like, yeah, becoming an artist is just like, I'm not really becoming an artist. I'm an artist. I'm more so becoming more of myself and allowing people to see more of myself and what it is that I'm able to do. Being an artist for me is just like another part of who I am. I'm like so many, different things. And this is just a way that I express myself and allow people to connect with me. So yeah.
So, Janelle, let me ask you, being more or less a center stage and center of attraction in the sporting fraternity, is that much different now to being on stage as an artist and singing?
Only because I'm performing and I'm entertaining a crowd. That's the only difference. But the way that I motivate myself to prepare for the stage and the way that I prepare and I do all the same things. It's all mental. I would say track and field, yes, it's a very physical sport, but it's mostly mental. You can show up today, and if you don't already have it in your mind that you're a winner, you're gonna lose that day. And so when I prepare for the stage, I just big myself up like, yeah, man, Joe, you got this. And I big up myself because I have to give myself the energy and the strength so that I'm able to translate it out to the audience. So yeah, I try to stay positive the same way, and I'm not competitive in no way or in no sense when it comes to my music, because I'm not competing with people. However, I still have that competitive nature about me. And so I just incorporate that in everything that I do. I mean, I still work out because I know that I have to have good cardio to be able to perform on stage, if I'm moving around and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm still an athlete, and I'm still an artist at the same time.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I see how everything in my life kind of came together for this exact moment, just work together to prepare me for this. So yeah.
How do you balance being an athlete and being a recording artist?
Well, because it's a part of who I am, it's just my daily lifestyle. So I get up, I work out, and yes, I'm working out and it's very athletic, but it's definitely with the intention to better my stage performance, And so everything is tied into one. I know that if I want to be able to sing a song from top to bottom and to move around on the stage, I got to be fit. So I gotta work out, and so I take my knowledge from that experience,
absolutely,
bring it over to what I'm doing on the stage. So it's not necessarily like a balance. It's more like it's balanced, but it's more like a flow. Like I just go with the flow because it's who I am, So it's a part of my daily life. Yeah.
Are you a part of like a elite team or something in Canada in the track and field?
Well, I was a part of Team Canada, so I represented Canada twice at the World Youth Games and the World Junior Championships. And actually, at the Junior Championships, we broke the Canadian record. We broke it once in the heat, and then we broke it again in the final. So I actually have a Canadian record. So I guess you can consider me, and no, not I guess you can consider me, one of Canada's elite athletes.
National athlete.
I didn't go to the Olympics.
Wow. Okay. So would you like to tell us like some of the places where you have performed musically?
I performed a few places out here on the West Coast in BC. So I've been over to the island, and I've performed at different islands over here. So Nanaimo, Victoria, Gabriola, Tofino. I just recently came back from Ottawa. I've performed in Toronto and in Brampton. Yeah, and I'm waiting to see where else I can go. I would love to come to the UK. I would love to go to Trinidad.
Oh, yes.
Wait, hold on. Where you want to go to Trinidad for Carnival?
I want to go to Carnival.
Or you want us to go perform in Trinidad? Which one?
I want the people them in Trinidad to feel the Jonelle vibes, of course.
Oh, definitely. Yes, and I have been playing your music on my show, Lady Anna's Musical Mix,
Thank
up
you.
to
Thank you.
Wednesday. Yes, yes,
Yeah, you
yes,
do, you
yes. We
do,
have been
Thank
certainly.
you. I
featuring you.
appreciate it.
Yes, definitely.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. So, I mean, um, yeah. So maybe you could tell us. I mean, are you a mom or
No, no, mom.
not a
No,
mom, not a
not
wife?
no kids. No kids over here. I don't have any kids. I'm not married. To be honest with you, the only thing that I have energy for right now is myself and my music. And so that's what's getting my attention. And I plan to give it my attention until the time is right. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, I mean, back to the story that you want to tell us. I mean, go on with that story.
Oh, with my trumpet story? Okay, so when I was in church, there was this man, and I brought well, at the time I wasn't playing the trumpet, I was playing the saxophone. But really and truly, I was a really good trumpeter. And so I just was going to the saxophone to see if I could play it. And I brought it to church one day and I played it, and it was absolutely horrible. I was so embarrassed. I did so bad. But it is what it is. And there was this man, there was this man at church. I won't say his name, but anyways, there was this man, and he was like, pom, 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 pom. Every time him see me, every time the man see me, pom, pom. And he's just making fun of me, antagonizing me every time him see me. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna watch. You see, the next time I bring my trumpet to come to church, I'm gonna mash up church. Watch. So that's what I did. I every day after school, me and my big old trumpet case, me and the trumpet, every day after school we practice. And you see, the next time I brought my trumpet to church, same said, so done, ma mash up the place. And my mom went to him and she's like, pop, pop.
Oh, wait. Y'all trying to get even with him now?
You never made fun of me again. Mm-hmm. Shut him up.
Oh gosh, but at least you took it in a positive
Yeah, I
direction, huh?
used it as
Yeah.
motivation. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I tend to do. I tend to take negative situation and use it as a way to better myself. That's the way to go always. Instead of holding a
Awesome.
grudge or
Magnificent.
feeling
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. Not everyone can do that, yeah?
Yeah, I know. It's
So
definitely
true.
a skill. I'm
Hmm.
glad that I acquired that skill, but it takes time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe, Janelle, what you could tell us right now for you as a woman, how difficult it is in the music industry.
Well, at first, it was hard to tell if people were taking me serious because, I guess people see me and they find me attractive. And so they use music as a way to kind of talk to you. And then you eventually discover that they're not really interested in making any music. You know what I'm saying? So that was the tough part. It kind of made me question, like, okay, am I really talented or do I just have a cute face? You know what I'm saying? But I
Mm-hmm.
realized I definitely have both. Like, I'm definitely talented and I don't let that stuff affect me anymore. I use my intuition, and I believe that I'm a very smart girl or smart woman, and I make the best choices for myself. And so when opportunities present themselves to me, I'm able to say, like, okay, this is the right one for me, or this one is not. Once I see that it's not, then it's just done. Like, that's it. We don't have to burn any bridges. We
Right.
don't have to hate each other,
Right.
but it's just we're done. We're done here, and that's just what it is. But
But I'm sure
I'm
for
working
you as
on
a
myself.
woman, I'm sure for you as a woman, I mean, a lot of producers and stuff like that may come to you, basically want to, take you under their wings, but
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
they come with ulterior motives.
Sometimes, but I have met a lot of good people as well. I've met a lot of professionals. They kind of saved it for everyone else. They kind of gave me that sense, like, there are professional people out there, that are interested in making money and being business minded and who operate with a spirit of excellence and professionalism. I like one of the songs, actually two of the songs that I did with Lethal Vibes. He's a friend of mine. He's very respectful, has never violated me, and yeah, we make music together. So yeah, I mean, there are people out there who definitely try, a thing. They definitely try a thing. I mean, I don't blame them. I'm pretty cute if I say so myself, you know. But but
That's what's up.
I definitely appreciate professionalism more than that. Like, I definitely want to be taken seriously because I take my craft and my business and my brand very serious. And so I want to be treated, the same way.
Okay, so Janelle, can you tell us like which famous musicians you admire or like to follow or pattern yourself after?
Oh, okay. Well, there's so many. And when I get asked this question, I always feel like I leave somebody out and then I leave the interview like, man, I wish I had mentioned this person. So I'll just give an example. So for example, my song Uber that I produced, it was inspired by the taxi rhythm. And and so because we're not really to take taxi again, I called it Uber. So
Yes,
that's what
yes.
inspired the Uber rhythm. At first I got the song Hold You, so the one that's like I just want to hold you, love and squeeze you tighter. And then I had that song for a long time just sitting down. But then I was like to myself, how could I have Uber on the Uber? Like how could I have a rhythm called Uber rhythm and I don't have a song called Uber on the rhythm? So then Uber came after, and in verse 1 you hear me say, sometimes I go outside and quickly realize. That was inspired by Barris Hammond. Um, Many did try but couldn't get my honey. And then in verse 2, I came with some dancehall vibes when I said, Miss Emma ready and it's only 12 o'clock. Me just reach and the party just start. That was inspired by Beanie Man, Wicked Islam. Give me the girl them with the wicked Islam. The kind of girl we no feel love up she man. And then I came back again in verse 2 with some Barry style with the now the situation's getting drastic. The boy said him have something he can give so fantastic. And then yeah, that's Uber. So I'm inspired by a lot of people. I'm a great imitator. Let me tell you, I imitate a lot of great people. But
It sounds like you could do a lot of voiceover and stuff like that.
It's just respect. There's lots of people that I respect, and because I grew up in the church and I didn't get to go out to the dance hall parties and do all of those things and get that experience, I had to pretty much learn and teach myself. So imitating was like the way for me to go. I had to imitate the people that I love. Christ
Right,
is the next person that I
right.
imitate all the time. hmm
Janelle,
Why?
what is the best
What?
advice you have ever been given?
To be myself.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
see you doing
definitely.
that. I can see
Yeah.
that reflecting in you.
Yeah, that
Awesome.
is like my number one priority, to always be myself. hmm
Why reggae music? I mean, first of all, you raised up in the church. Um, why you decide to do reggae music? I mean, we got gospel reggae, yes. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're doing secular reggae, but for somebody who actually raised up in the church, let us go back to the Genesis. What? How do your parents actually take that?
Well, I stopped caring what they think. So I just do me, because like I said, um, being myself is my number one priority. So I can't really think about how they take it. How they take it is their business. I can't focus on that. So, why reggae music? I don't
Yes.
really understand why reggae music because, it's I kind of feel like it's who I am. Like when I hear a rhythm, that's what comes out. You know what I'm saying? That style, that DJ style or that sing J style or the singing style, like that's what just comes out. However, I don't like to only sing reggae music. I like to sing a variety of different musics, but I definitely love especially the reggae music for sure. It's just something that I've always heard, growing up in a Jamaican household or growing up around Jamaican people or in Jamaican communities. It's just that's the vibe.
So you definitely have some West Indian background to you.
Yeah, my parents are Jamaican.
Awesome,
Mhm.
awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Jamaica?
Yeah, the last time I went was in 2019. I hope to go back
Oh,
soon.
uh-huh, uh-huh. Okay, okay.
Awesome, awesome.
Mhm.
You know, You know what, people? You're listening to the Friday Night Vibes on UVC Radio, the sound of binding us together. King Rocco, AG, and my co-host, LadyAna, out to TNT. And we got the diva herself, Janelle, in the studio all the way from Vancouver, Canada. You know what, people? We're going to definitely take a song break, and we're going to be back with some more vibes right here with Janelle on the Friday Night Vibes on UVC Radio.
Yes. Big tune.
Yeah, people, it's all about the vibes.
The world is looking crazy right now. People feeling lazy right now. Can't get out of
Yeah, people, check out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. All right, across social media, it's the girl Janelle out of Canada.
The world is looking crazy.
This song entitled "Everybody in the World Needs Love."
Lazy right now. Can't get out of bed. I lost my job just now, and the bills need to pay somehow. But I cry instead. And it's like every day it's the same thing. Collection, I call me like ring, ring, ring. And not even a penny in my checking. Father God, I think I might need a blessing. And if it's not one thing, it's the next. And we're just trying to do our best, but we're stressed. Everybody in the world right now needs love.
I tell people definitely we need some more love in the world. We need some more love in the world.
Everybody in the world right now needs love. You're not the only one, I'm feeling it too. I just finished arguing with my boo, and I don't know, but I think we're through. Damn, what the hell did I just do? There's just so much things going on. For dear life, I am hanging on. Stay strong. Ooh, I know that there is just one thing we need. So I'm sending you some love vibrations, cause only it can heal the nation.
That's what we need, love and positive vibration right across the world. Listen, people, this is the girl Janelle out of Vancouver, Canada. Oh my God, that's Ontario. But I tell you, check out her social media.
Right now needs love. Sweet love.
This is what we're doing with Janelle in the studio. My co-host, LadyAna, out of TNT.
Right now. Everybody in the world right now needs love. Sweet love. Everybody in the world.
You know what? It's a love is the key of life, right?
Girl.
We need love and more love. Let's eat. We want to practice them kind of something, you know what I'm saying? We don't bring no bad vibes, no negative energy. Only love we'll bring.
Can you help me say love? Love, sweet love, sweet love. One more time, say love.
Yeah, everybody in the world need love. I need it, you need it, people. Yeah, people, check out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the social media out there you can find music. Janelle out of Vancouver, Canada.
We need
Welcome back, people.
on.
Back in the building, my co-host LadyAna and Jonelle. I tell you, big upcoming artist
That's
people
right.
out of Vancouver, Canada. Hey, Jonelle, tell us, man, tell us, what is the genesis behind this song?
I actually wrote that song at the start of the pandemic. And, I just lost my job. That's how I was feeling at the time. That's literally what I was going through. And I only had written verse one at the time. I had the chorus and everything and just verse one. And so I had verse two empty for months. And then the second lockdown came. And then I wrote verse two. And yeah, it was literally just what I was going through at the time. I was going through, a breakup. Um, and it was pretty tough, and I was thinking to myself, like in that verse you can hear me say, like, I just finished arguing with my boo. Damn, what the hell did I just do? Like, I was thinking, like, how am I gonna get out of this situation, like, where do I go from here? I was just, yeah, that's literally everything that I was saying in that song was what I was going through. And I felt like, why not put it in lyrics? Because I felt like everybody felt the same way. Maybe you weren't going through a breakup at the time, but the pandemic was rough for everybody because none of us were expecting it, And yeah, sometimes we get caught off guard. And really and truly, sometimes the only thing that can make us feel better is love and just positive vibes, And so I wanted to just put that out there at a time where I felt like everybody in the world needed love.
So
Definitely, it must have
sometimes
been a real difficult time in your life.
Yeah, it
when you're
was.
when you're going through the creative process, do you create for yourself or for your fans?
I always create for myself, but I realize that when I'm writing the music for myself, it's definitely relatable. So it's for all of us, But I'm usually talking to myself, when I'm writing, and I'm usually encouraging myself when I'm writing because that's what I need to hear in that moment. So I have to tell it to myself, and so I know that we don't always talk to each other about the things that we go through, but we're going through the same things, and we all need the same things, and it's love. And so when I write my music, like, I definitely write for my fans, obviously, but I'm mostly writing to myself, and then the message will translate to my fans.
Hmm.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, in terms, I mean, you speak about the pandemic. What
Yeah.
it really did to you as an artist?
Oh, honestly, the Jonelle that you see today, you can thank the pandemic for that because it gave me the time to stay home and really focus on myself. It gave me the time to meditate, to grow, to stretch, to to cry if I needed to cry, to go through all of those things that I needed to go through at that time to become this person. Like, it was well needed. I needed a break, and I couldn't really afford to take one because I had to work. And so when they told me that I get to stay home and they're giving me money to stay home, I'm like, yes, this is perfect. This is
Well, that's what's up.
At the time I had just started my music career. So, like, I wasn't worried because I knew that I had just started and eventually I would get there. But because it was a pandemic, you don't really know what's going to happen next, And so I just kind of let go of the what's going to happen next and just started working on myself in the moment. Because, when you're prepared, when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. You're just ready. When opportunity comes, you're just ready to go. And so that was the mentality that I
Mhm.
had. I wanted to make sure that no matter what the situation, if they say, Jonah, we want you to perform today, I can do it. Like, I'm ready. Let's go. So yeah, like, I just used that time to prepare and to become this person that I am now. Not to say that this is the full scheme or aspect of who I would love to be or who I am, but I'm definitely happy to be here. So yeah.
And so this style that you have right now, did this eventually evolve, or this was your style from beginning?
It was
Your style of
definitely
singing?
a vision. It was definitely a vision. I was very more afraid before to express myself. Even in the way that I dressed, I was very, because I grew up in the church, like I said, and certain things you just didn't grow up wearing or doing. So,
Mhm.
but I always had a vision of myself and how I saw myself and how I wanted to be. And and express myself. And it just, the more confidence I build within myself, so the more I worked on myself, was the more I allowed myself to be myself. You know what I'm saying? The more I opened up, the more I became what you see today. Honestly, it's just a matter of not caring what anybody thinks. Like once you get over that, once I dismissed caring what people have to say, what people are gonna think about me, because you remember the people that you once knew, and you think about how they used to know you. And it's like, are they gonna be able to let that version of me go? Who
Yes.
cares? Who
Yeah.
cares? I just told myself, who cares? And I just decided to become something new, because I believe that that's what life is about. My growth might not always be exponential, but it's growth nonetheless, So I'm just happy to be here.
So
So,
basically,
Janelle,
it's go on, Anna.
okay, so this is strong, young, beautiful woman we are seeing in front of us. Do
Yes.
you see yourself as having any competitors?
No. And not because competition doesn't exist for some people. It's just that I don't look at people as competition, because I know that there is enough for all of us to eat and our belly full. So I don't worry about that anymore. At first it was tough because I was an athlete. I'm used to being competitive, right? But I'm not competing against anybody other than the person that I was even 5 minutes ago. So it's never about any of this stuff outside. It's everything inside of me. That's the real competition, because it's not easy to change. It's not easy to let go, you know and
Mm-hmm,
be
mm-hmm.
letting go of the idea of who I used to be. That was my biggest competition. That was definitely one of the hardest battles. It was scary. It was scary. So yeah,
Right,
I don't see people as
right.
competition. No, just
Interestingly,
fellow
I mean,
co-workers.
interestingly, you speak about letting go of the person that you used to be and don't care. Well, definitely, I would understand what you're saying when you say you don't care. It's not like you don't respect whatever people think or anything, but you're just
No.
trying to do you, trying to focus on you. And I mean, how difficult was that? I mean, to move on from most of your life, you've been validated according to whatever people think of you
Yeah,
or whatever,
it was
the way
tough,
people see
man.
you. And then all of a sudden now, you know what? I decide, I'm going to be me today. I'm going to live for me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what was that transition really like, man? Because even though you say, I don't really care, but tell you this, man, definitely it was not an easy road.
No, definitely not. And that's when the athletic part of me had to really kick in. Because when I used to show up to the track, I used to say, "This is my track. I'm winning today." I used to boost up myself, and that's how I had.
Yes.
That was the perspective that I had to start to take. Like, I'm good at what I do. I'm talented. I'm a singer. I'm an amazing songwriter. I'm a wicked performer. I had to just start telling myself, like, I do this. Like, I really real do. Like, I do this for real in real life. Like, this is me. This is who I am. And I had to just accept it. Like, it wasn't easy, because I've been one way for so long. But then there was a day where I realized that I don't have to just be one way. I can be multifaceted, and that's okay. And that was what I decided to do.
Janelle, do you give motivational talks as well?
Oh no, no, I don't. But it's something that I can see myself doing, because
Uh-huh.
I know that I can articulate myself pretty well. And I would definitely love to, because I mean, like, that is what my music is supposed to do, encourage people. And so yeah, of course I would do it. It's not, if I was asked, I would do it, but it's not something that I'm doing right now. No.
Just hearing your
Well,
story
yeah.
alone. Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah, like
that
hopefully,
vibration,
Well, I'll tell you this, man. You're
you
gonna fool
know,
people. You can
exactly.
fool people right now.
Motivation. Hopefully, the way that I put myself out there is motivation for people to become their best self. Yeah.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, as I said, just so you can fool people if nobody don't know. If you didn't say it, you can fool people. You actually
Yeah.
do motivational speech. So I guess this is just another side of you that you probably did not even realize.
Yeah, exactly. Multifaceted.
Yeah. So currently, are you with a record label or are you actually just doing your thing?
I'm just doing my thing. I guess I can stand as my own record label. Yeah. Because I mean, I work with other people, but I produce a lot of my music myself. Like Uber was produced by me, Mood was produced by me, So Nice was produced by me, and I have more music to come that will be produced by me, my own productions. But I like to work with people. However, I'm definitely my own entity. I'm not under any label or nothing like that.
Yeah, Janelle, what do you enjoy most about being a musician and an artist?
I like to perform. I really do. I really like to connect with people, And so once I create a song and put it out there, like all that stuff is good. But now when I'm on the stage and I hear people singing my songs with me, like there's no other feeling. There really isn't. Like it's great.
It's really empowered you.
Yeah, like people really appreciate what I do. And it gives me such gratification, it makes me feel good, like, okay, this is not in vain. Even if it's just one person singing it with me, like I feel good about that, because that's my intention, to encourage and to uplift. And yeah, I want a message to definitely get across.
Yes, definitely. That's awesome. You know what? We're gonna definitely get into that song, Uber. When we get back, you're gonna tell us a little bit more about that song.
Let's do it.
Yeah, people, the Friday Night Vibes, UBC Radio, the sound of brightness, again, making Rocco HD, and Lady Anna, all the TNT, and the diva herself, Janelle, out of Vancouver, Canada. This song entitled.
This one goes out to the people out there who come to the party late and leave early, to the extroverted introvert, to the ones who didn't plan to stay long in the first place. This one is for you. Sometimes I go outside and quickly realize that I'm
This is a girl Daydream. You're listening to the Friday Night Vibes with your man, King Rocco HD.
This one goes out to the people out there who come to the party.
Check out, people. Check out us all across social media. We can find music.
To the
Spotify
extroverted
music,
introvert.
Apple Music, Amazon Music. Check out the music. Janelle, out of Vancouver, Canada.
First place. This one is for you. Sometimes I go outside and quickly realize that I'm feeling tired, and I wish I had just stayed in my bed. I just wanted to have some fun, dance a little and drink some rum. Want to bubble up, give some trouble up, but when me look around,
Bad artist people, a good girl, but she never get in trouble because she never get caught. I tell you people.
When you check it out, I bear money me spend.
I tell you people, she never get caught.
and it look like
it's like she wasn't doing it's not like she wasn't doing the crime, but she just never get caught.
It's time to go. I'm heading home. I can't take it no more. I'm calling Uber. This night has got to end. Send a message out to all my friends. I'm calling an Uber. It's time to go. Headed home. I can't take it no more. I'm calling an Uber. An Uber. An Uber. Me send me ready and it's only 12 o'clock.
No more taxi, Uber, we call it them days.
Just start right now.
No more taxi, only for Uber.
Him not done talk. Him chatty and me can't take it no more. That's it, I'm headed out the door. Hey boy, can you leave me alone? Me say me not give you the number to my phone. Now the situation's getting drastic. The boy said he has something he can give so fantastic. I said, baby, I don't care. The only thing on my mind is get the hell out of here.
Ladies, remember you have your Uber fare, Anyway, so make sure you have your Uber fare, yeah? So when the boy now act right, make sure you have your money.
It's time to go. Headed home, I can't take it no more. I'm calling an Uber, an Uber, an Uber. Vroom, quick. The app tell me say my Uber coming in 2 minutes. So me text the driver, tell him push the limit because me want me left the choke, kiss me teeth. In on me bed, me shoulda asleep. And I think that I had too much to drink, but that's okay, cause now I'm on my way. Calling an Uber, it's time to go. Heading home, me can't take it no more. I'm calling an Uber, this night has got to end. Send a message out to all of my friends, them I'm calling an Uber. It's time to go. Headed home, I can't take it no more. No, 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 no. Oh, no. Yeah, so I'm calling an Uber. It's time to go.
It's time
I
to
tell this
go.
girl singing her life out in the singing her heart out in the studio.
Yeah.
Send a message out to all of my friends.
Well, people, it's the Friday Night Vibes. UVC Radio, the sound of bodies. Welcome back. My co-host LadyAna out of TNT and Jonelle, the diva out of Vancouver, Canada. Hey, Jonelle, tell us about the song, man. Huber. Boy, I tell you, big song. I love it.
Yes, big song for real. Like I was telling you guys before, it was inspired by the taxi rhythm, and then I had another song on the rhythm. So I have two songs on the Uber rhythm, Hold You and Uber, but I had Hold You for a while. And I was like, I need to have a song called Uber on the rhythm. And so that's how Uber came about. I just decided like I want to talk about, the many reasons why you would need to take a Uber, whether you were drinking that night, whether you have to left early. There are so many circumstances, you need to call your Uber, but just make sure, say, when you're ready to go, you have your Uber money and you're good to go. That's it.
Especially if you get stood up or you have an argument. Yeah.
Exactly. You never know. You have to have your Uber money on deck and ready to go. You always need an Uber sometimes.
Most definitely. If not music, tell us what Janelle probably would have been today.
An athlete. That was my my initial plan. That was what I was really pursuing. That's what brought me out to Vancouver. But it didn't happen. So yeah, I had to redesign my plan. And here we are today.
Awesome.
Like I said before, I've always been doing music, but I was always an athlete too. Like I got a track scholarship. I ran for Canada, have Canadian records. I did all of that. The next thing for me to do was go to the Olympics. And that's why I moved out here in hopes to, compete at the Olympic Games. I went to the trial and I didn't qualify. But, I went through a lot. So, yeah, like I was saying.
It has made you a better person.
Yeah, it was hard to let go of that Jonelle too, the Canadian athlete and the hopes to become an Olympian. I had to let that go. It was painful. I won't lie to you. But, embracing who I am now and realizing that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, it made the transition a lot easier. Yeah, but it was tough to let that go.
Yes, definitely. So, I mean, what is that moment, that feeling like the first time you actually come on stage, you actually perform in front of a crowd?
I was nervous. I wasn't sure if people were going to like me. I wasn't even sure what I was doing, if I was doing it right. And I was afraid I might forget my lyrics. I was more so nervous than anything else, like I didn't know how people were going to receive me. And
guess you had those butterfly moments.
Yeah, right. I had so many feelings, so many different things going through my head. But after the fact, people came up to me and they were like, "Oh my gosh, you're so good," and that kind of boosts my confidence. So you see, the next time I went on stage, it was a different story. It was a different person, But then I realized each time I did that, and I conquered new levels, and I got over certain fears and certain thresholds, I realized that my stage performance just kept getting better every single time I went on stage. So yeah. You need those moments. Nerves are not a bad thing. It's not an excuse. At least for me, being nervous and being scared is not enough reason for me not to continue or not to get on stage and just do it anyways, Unless my foot broke, unless my cat fell. That's the only reason why you won't see me on stage. Not because I'm scared or I'm nervous. I'm going to do it anyways,
What
well.
skills you find are most useful to you in the music industry?
Well, I mean, I feel like I feel like I want to say my music knowledge, but honestly, there's so much information out there that you can literally start with no knowledge and get somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I would say
Certainly,
m-
certainly.
my life as an athlete has definitely been a secret weapon for me because it just gave me this attitude I'm I'm really it just gave me this extra confidence like I'm really good at what I do, it just taught me how to prepare my mind and to be focused and disciplined, and even my life as a Christian too, it taught me how to be disciplined in my lifestyle choices, whether it be like I need to drink more water or I need to watch what I eat, being so disciplined in my lifestyle as an athlete and as a Christian. I took some of the things that I've learned and I've applied it to who I am today.
Hmm.
Definitely, that's quite interesting. So, I mean, where are some of the places in Canada? I mean, that you actually want to perform on? What are some of these events?
I performed at the Kind Festival. That was in Toronto. I would say that was probably the biggest stage that I've been on so far. Um, and then I did another show in Brampton, the Flavors and Vibes. I did International Mural Festival out in Nelson, BC. I've performed at the Carnaval del Sol on that stage, but not as like
Wrong a little bit.
it's like a Latin festival out here, but I performed with somebody. Yeah, those are a few. This that was out here in Vancouver, but that's a few of the stages that I've been on. I've been to Winnipeg as well, if I forgot to mention that. Um, there was a viral reggae festival out there. I didn't
Right.
go by myself. I performed with somebody, but yeah, that's some of the stages. I hope to go to like Montreal. I want to go to Edmonton as a performer. I want to go everywhere. I want to see everything.
But interesting you say that. Maybe you can tell us what reggae music is really like out there in Canada. Is it like a big thing
Well,
out
let me
there in
tell you,
Vancouver?
I love reggae
Reggae
music.
dancehall music, yeah.
Well, I mean, you have people who the crowd out here, they definitely know they are more popular. So like Bob Marley, Barrington Levy, a lot of the old school people are very popular out here. So when I perform out here, I try to incorporate a lot of covers so that the people can recognize the music, and then I slip my music, my originals in there, to catch them. That's how I reel them in. I bait them with like a Bob Marley or even Chronics. I did a Chronics rhythm the other day, Here Comes Trouble. But the crowd, they love reggae music. Like reggae music is just one of those sounds that is international. It grabs your attention. It's easy to win over the crowd with reggae music. It's groovy, it makes you want to dance. You can't help yourself. Like it's just an energy. You just can't help it. So reggae music facilitates that very easily, very well, the movement and the energy of the crowd.
It puts you
Yeah.
in the mood. So you say that, you know what? We're gonna definitely
Exactly. It puts you in the mood, you know?
we're gonna definitely play this one right now from you.
But the people out here, they love it. The people out here, they love reggae music. Mind you, the Caribbean community out here is not very big. But at the end of the
In
day, not
Vancouver,
in
right?
Vancouver, no. Yeah, it's pretty small out here, but like there is a reggae crowd as small as it is, and it doesn't only consist of Caribbean and African descent. It consists of some Canadians, some Europeans. Yeah, it's just a big mixture of people. Like the band that I usually play with, Rebel Stoke, it consists of an American drummer, a black man, and we have some Canadians who have more reggae knowledge than even I do. So
Wow.
yeah, once people,
Hmm.
honestly, reggae music is one of those things that outside cultures definitely appreciate a lot more than the people
And
inside the culture.
it is also bring people together.
Yes, it does, 100%.
Yeah, so you know what? We're gonna definitely take another song from Janelle right now, people. Let's get into this right now.
Okay.
Yeah, people. This is Jonette out of Vancouver, Canada.
Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Make things happen on your own. I'm in the mood.
Time to elevate and time to fix my attitude missing.
Yeah. Boy, she's vibes, man. She's vibes, I tell you. This year, man, King Rocco AG up in the building alongside my co-host, LadyAna out of TNT, and Jonelle out of Vancouver, Canada. People, I tell you this, people. Go check her out. Go check her upcoming dancehall reggae sensation artist. You know what I'm saying? People, check her out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Visa Music, Apple Music, Amazon Music, all of the social music out there where you can find music. Go check her music out. You know what I mean?
I'm rising up. I'm getting ready for another day of earning. For better, I can feel my soul yearning. Envision how I could see the table turn. That's when my ambition started to burn. 'Cause I'm in the mood for something different, time to make love. I'm in the mood. Everything is alright.
We're in the mood for some good vibes tonight, y'all.
I'm in the mood.
I'm in the mood.
Time to fix
Hey.
missing. I'm in the mood.
Hey, I'm a DJ, I'm not a singer, alright? Just don't get it twisted. Hey, I like to talk, I can't sing. Alright.
Get you down. Hold up your head and stand your ground. All when you have no friends around. Better is calling, darling. One thing I know, life is full of circumstances. But you know I try my best and I feel take my chances. 'Cause I'm always looking forward to better. And a lucky thing I am a go-getter. And I know it's not always a bed of roses. That's why Jimmy Cliff sing, who feels it, knows it, you see. Your mentality will be your reality. So think the best and that's what you will manifest. In the mood for something different, time to make love. I'm in the mood. Everything is alright. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood. Time to elevate and time to fix my attitude. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood. Try to start the day with gratitude. Hear me now. Don't let your problems get you down. Hold up your head and stand your ground. All when you have no friends around. Better is calling. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood.
Bonjour tout le monde, it's me, your girl Jonelle representing. You are now tuned in with your number one station, UBC Radio, the sound that binds us together.
Alright, sing. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood. Time to elevate and time to fix my attitude. Missing. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood. Try to start the day with gratitude. Hear me now. Don't let your problems get you down. Hold up your head and stand your ground. All when you have no stand your ground.
Okay.
We are back, people. I'm in the mood with some great vibes right here on the Friday Night Vibes on UBC Radio. With my co-host LadyAna on the TNT and the diva Jonelle out of Canada. Tell us somebody, son. What are you in the mood? What are you in the mood for, girl? What was your frame of mind at that time when you were in that mood?
I was in the. When I wrote that song, I told myself I'm in the mood for greatness. I'm ready to really take on the road. I'm ready to go after this music career of mine. I'm ready to go for greatness. Like I'm ready. Like I'm in the mood to start make some money. Yeah.
You know that's what we all want to make, right?
Of course.
As you're talking about the moods and so on, you want to tell us a little bit about one of your best performances? Anyone outdo? Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed my performance at the Kind Festival. I really enjoyed that. Big up to Jesse Jones for the opportunity. You know, you don't know. But yeah, I really enjoyed that show. You know, the crowd wasn't big, but the energy was bigger than even the room we were in. Like, it was dope. It was a big vibes, big vibes, you know. So definitely loved the Kind Festival. It was so fun. I really put myself out there. Like, I was nervous, but I'm like, nah, I'm ready to go. Like, I was ready.
You were ready for the road.
Ready for the road. Ready. You have to stay ready, so you have to make sure you stay ready so you don't have to get ready, you know? I'm ready.
That's right. You know what? We're going to definitely take another song for you because we got a few more minutes here remaining. So let's take another song from Janelle, people.
All right.
Yeah, this song entitled I Got You. So let's do this right now, y'all.
Yeah! Love song. R&B. You got me, I got you, my name, baby. I swear, baby, you know that you got me. Good times, bad times, you know you can always call on me. For sure, baby, you know that you got me. When they ask how much I say, you make me sing like ooh la la.
Yeah, people, I tell you, I would definitely encourage you guys to go check her out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Deezer Music, Apple Music, Spotify Music, all of the social music outlet you can find music. Go check her out, people. Janelle, all the way from Canada. You got me, I got you. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. I swear, baby, you know that you got me. Good times, bad times, you know you can always call on me. For sure, baby, you know that you got me. The one that I'm forever holding. Oh my gosh, my heart is stalling. Wish for somebody like you, and here you are. You lift my feet right off the ground. So incredible this love I found. The glow, I wanna let you know right now. Oh, you got me, I got you. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. I swear, baby, you know that you got me. Good times, bad times, you know you can always call on me. For sure, baby, you know that you got me. Boy, 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 you know that you got me. Boy, boy, you know that you got me. Boy, 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 you know that you got me. Boy, 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 you know that you got me. You know, Yeah, people, we are back. Man, I tell you, this girl singing her heart in the studio. I tell you, people, listen to me. Listen, so I can imagine. Even though she's dealing with a lot of stuff in her life, you just sing the pain away. You know what to about Marley said, one good thing about music, when they hit you, it's something. And I can definitely see that, you know, feel no pain. When music hit her soul, alright? What do you say, Janelle? What do you say with that?
She says it's no pain. She says it's no pain. Yeah. And we would like to ask Janelle if when she's at home, if she sings all the time.
Yes, I sing all the time. That's when I get my practice in, you know? So I have to. This is what I do. I have to make sure I'm exercising that muscle too, you know?
Yeah, the vocal cords.
Exactly. Gotta keep fit.
Are you one of them when you're in the shower, man? You just sing,
everywhere. Not just the shower alone. You think it's just the shower alone? Everywhere.
You know what they say, the singing I should begin in the shower, right?
I'm belting it out. I'm like concert in the shower.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, even if I'm walking down the street, and honestly, even when I'm going for my runs, when I'm on my jogs, I'm singing because when I'm on the stage, I'm moving around, you know. So that's like me practicing for the stage. When I'm running up and down, going for my jog, and I'm running, I'm mimicking what I would be doing on the stage, although I'm not, you know. So everything for me is incorporated into the vision to make the vision come alive every single moment of my life.
So then let me ask you this question. If you are on stage performing and you find the audience look bored, what are you going to do?
Me shut my eye.
You show your eye. Or you wear dark shades, isn't it?
You know what? Some crowds are tough. Some crowds are tough.
Yes. Yes.
Like when I went to Ottawa, I was telling the people I was trying to tell people call somebody out to come on the stage or come in front and dance so they can win a t-shirt. They didn't want to do that. So I said, okay, I'm just going to perform and have a good time. I'm going to have a great time regardless. And once I started to have a good time, it's just infectious. Everybody has
transition.
Everybody start joining, you know what I'm saying? Everybody start joining.
Exactly. So you can't really focus, honestly, in every aspect. I know it sounds cliche, but you literally cannot think about other people. You have to just focus on you, and once you...
And I totally agree with that.
Yeah, like you have to just not focus on anybody and how anybody is feeling. A lot of people are insecure. And so when they see you being great, it makes them uncomfortable, So you have to make them know that, hey, you're great too. You're great too. You might not be able to come on stage and do this, but you can do something. So don't watch that. We're all great together.
As I always say, you got to shine the light. I'm blind those people
Exactly.
that saw last night. You know what I'm saying? Blind them off.
Yeah.
Indeed. You know what? We're gonna take another song for you because we got about 10 minutes.
Okay, next song.
Let's get into another song from Janelle right now. People. Let's get into this.
Just don't care.
Let's get into this.
It's sweeter than sugar cane and they can't complain. He's so nice.
Thank you.
See two of them right now up in the air. If you love a man and they just don't care.
But you people, but you.
Your man is sweeter than sugar cane and they can't complain.
This is a girl daydream. You're listening to the Friday Night
That love my man, you may no see. Oh gosh, don't do me back. You know that touch will give me heart attack. Higher, hold me when I push it back. That touch makes me feel so hot.
I tell people, I love the rhythm. You know, so when the night you gotta play it twice. Let's take it from the top.
See two of them right now.
Put him up.
Hands up if you know your man is
It's a Friday night vibe. You ready to King Rock with LadyAna to TNT and the girl Janelle.
so nice. My man, you may no see. Oh gosh, don't do me back. You know that touch will give me heart attack. Higher, pull me when I push it back. That touch makes me feel so hot. Ooh. Hello, let me tell you about my baby. The loving drives me crazy, and he makes me feel so hot like Scotch bonnet pepper. Oh gosh, make me tell you about my honey. He said he'll make me money if I sing one sweet melody. So
Yeah, but you can rock to this beat. You can rock to this song, yeah?
no girl can take my man.
Goodbye.
Face to my hand. Love is real.
Boy, you have to have the clippity glamour thing, you know. No girl catch boy.
Take my through Jaja. Real romancing. Feel
Listen to the girl Janelle, people. Listen to her.
feel it enhancing. Oh gosh, don't do me back. You know that touch will give me heart attack. Higher, pull me when I push it back. That touch makes me feel so hot. Oh gosh, don't do me back. You know that touch will give me heart attack. Higher, pull me when I push it back. That touch makes me feel so hot. I love my man, yo, like wow, them can't understand. Oh, give me the love.
Wait, I tell you people, it's a Friday Night Vibes UBC Radio. The Sound of Bite is together. King Rock, AGL, LadyAna up in the building. I got my girl Janelle all the way from Vancouver, Canada. Hop it, you know what it says, the Gucci some 99 and shit, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, we are in the building. Yeah, Janelle, tell us about this song, man. You know what I like about this song? This song have a nice little groovy, kind of little soca, kind of dancehall kind of thing. Like, tell us about that.
Yeah. It was definitely inspired by the 90s dancehall era, you know. It was inspired by the Punani rhythm. I don't know if you know it.
Yes.
It was inspired by that rhythm. But honestly, when I create beats, sometimes I just hear a melody in my head. You know, I just hear like the song is saying something. And that's what I just kept hearing. Oh gosh, don't do me that. You know that touch will give me heart attack. And then, you know, I got the hook and I just went from there. The song, honestly, the whole production took me about, I made the beat, wrote the song, recorded it in like maybe 2 hours. Not even.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Congratulations.
It
man.
was so quick. It was so quick. One of the more faster things that I've done. It was quick. And even when I created it, at the time I was dating somebody and he was like, "What? You just made that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Yeah.
It got a nice groovy kind of soca kind of vibe, soca dancehall
100%.
kind of thing. Like, that's what I like about it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna definitely get into our next song because we got a next interview coming up. 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Eastern time. That's 9:30 Eastern in the Caribbean. All right. So let us get into this next song, and man, you know what? This is the biggie. I call it. This is the big fish. So let's get into this right now.
Shark. Let's see. What's this? Which one is this one? No. You know when you have a extensive catalog, you don't know which one.
Which one you gonna pull up?
Yeah, which big tune.
All right. You know what? You know what song I want to really play right now, man. All right.
Aha.
Yeah.
Definitely.
She definitely has to tell us about the genesis of this one.
All right.
Maybe she should tell us about it. Let her
Let's
tell
talk
us
about it in
about
the
it
meantime.
while you're queuing it up. Yeah.
All right. So, like you can hear the lyrics. You know, they're very personal. I wanted to write a really personal song. So when I got the beat from Lethal Vibes, that was my intention. When I heard the beat start playing to me, I'm like, okay, I want to make this one personal. You know, I wanna talk to the people them and tell them, like, you know, no matter what they're going through, you know, you always still have to keep a positive mind frame. And so I started writing the song. I had verse 1 and verse 2 and the hook, everything ready and finished and recorded. And I sent it to the engineer, but I didn't have the bridge. The bridge didn't come until after the fact. And so my friend was so DJ Lethal Vibes, the one that produced the song, he was telling me that he wants to submit the song for the Junos and how, you know, they accepted the song. So I was like, what? I forgot, hurry up and finish this song. So that's what I did. You know, I just went for a walk and I came up with the bridge, went back home, recorded it, sent it to the engineer. Same day, it's mixed, mastered, send it out.
Yeah, all right. All that thought, because you know what? I'm sure the listeners will love to hear a little bit more about that song after we rock this song in the studio right now. So you know what? Hold on tight, people. Let's get into this, people. Friday Night Vibes.
Now representing. Yo, lethal vibes. You know we're living in a lethal time. Till we got to stay alive.
You're most welcome.
Turn it up right now. Turn it up.
Turn up. You know we're still have to say. Even though my heart still pain. Friends turning the enemy. Every day. Don't believe in me. And I can't trust my family. You know we still have to say every day, every day. Lonely, got everything I love taken from me. Friends, family, house, and my money. Many nights I go to bed hungry. Peanut butter only, life ain't nothing funny.
You know, we gotta pull it, we gotta pull it, we gotta pull it, yo, we gotta pull this shit up, you know what I'm saying? We gotta pull this up right now, y'all.
And I don't really.
Yes.
On the top, for the top, for the top, for the top, for the top.
Now represent.
It's the journal all the Vancouver, Canada. Song entitled,
Yo, lethal. You know we're living in a lethal.
Represent it right now, y'all. Let's do it.
We got to stay alive.
If we have to stay alive.
But that's fine. You know we still have to say. Even though my heart is filled with pain. Friends turn into enemy. Every day, every day. When they don't, and I can't trust my family. You know we still have to say every day, lonely, got everything I love taken from me. Friends, family, house, and my money. Many nights I go to bed hungry. Peanut butter only, life ain't nothing.
Some people don't really need my money. Some people just watch you and judge you.
Like about 3 years.
But a little shit, sometimes some people don't like you.
But
They don't like the way you talk, they don't like the way you walk, they don't like the way you front. But if anytime people trying to front, you know what you gotta do, you gotta do. You just keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on being yourself, don't try to be nobody else.
they don't believe in me. And I
If you
can't
believe
trust
in I
my
think
family.
as long as you believe
You
in
know
yourself,
we
that's
still
it.
have to say every day, every day. Affirmative, me have to full up my thoughts with positive. And we have to burn out every negative. Reality shift, they hurt us, but we still forgive. Cause you know my heart is big and my love is real. Maybe that's the reason for the pain I feel. Meditate so I can heal. Better days are here in time, it will reveal. That's why, you know we still have to stay. Even though my heart is filled with pain. Friends turn into enemy. Every day, every day. Even though they don't believe in me. And I can't trust my family. You know we still have to say every day, every day. Even though these tears fill my eyes and many nights I cried, you know we still have to say yes. And though I try them, tell Wally Prada, you know we still have to say even when they turn their backs on me, you know I still stand solid like a rock. We won't stop until we reach the top. And that's why, you know we still have to say. Even though my heart is filled with pain, friends turn into enemy. Every day, every day.
Up top, up top, up
They
top.
don't believe in me, and I can't trust my family. No. You know we still have to say every day, every day. You know we still have to say every day, every day. You know we still have to say every day, every day.
Major.
Yes, people, we are back on the Friday Night Vibes with my co-host LadyAna and Janelle out of Vancouver, Canada. And you know, we got about 5 minutes or so remain, man. You know what I'm saying? Tell us, continue telling us what you was telling us about the song.
So yeah, I wanted this song to be personal, you know. I wanted to talk about some of the things that I have faced recently, you know. Or not even just recently, just in life in general, not knowing how I'm going to eat that night, how I'm going to get from A to point B, you know, just the struggle of what I would say is everyday life for the modern person.
I mean, I tell you, the struggle is real, you know what I'm saying?
The struggle is real, you know, and a lot more of us go through it than, you know, and we don't talk about it. And so I just wanted people to know, like, no matter what it is you're going through, no matter if you don't know how you're going to do it today or how you're going to get through the day, just, you know, have a positive mindset. Always tell yourself yes, because AHA is yes. It's a positive affirmation. So I wanted to tell myself, you know, even though my heart is filled with pain, yes. Even though they turned their backs on me, yes. Even though my friends are my enemies now, yes. Everything I go through, yes. No matter what it is, yes, 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 yes to myself always, you know? And so, yeah, I wanted people to feel that and really get that message. No matter what you're going through, always tell yourself yes, that you can do it. No matter what it is, you can overcome. And that's the message of that song, you know? Straight.
I think that's a nice message as well to your fans out there.
Yes.
Yes. What is it you would like to tell your fans? Yes. Who would we like to shout out?
Okay, I'm gonna shout out all of my friends and my fans that support me. Um, um, I'll start by saying Browning, Keisha, my cousin Clary just tuned in, everybody that tuned in on my Instagram live, everybody that tuned in on the UBC radio show, big up on yourself.
Up.
Up. Yeah, man, you don't know. And I also want to say big up to myself because it's a dream to be a guest on a overseas radio show. I never, this is not my first time, but it's definitely a dream come true. It's definitely a manifestation of my hard work. So shout out to me, big ups to myself. You know what I'm saying, for putting in the work and seeing results. Yeah.
All right, big up to you, Janelle.
That's what's up. That's what's. But tell you this, likewise, you cannot leave the studio. We all you be singing your heart out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Give us a little UBC something, man. Give us a little something. Do a little something for us.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, UVC, yeah. You got me, I got you. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. UVC, you don't know. You know that you got me. Good times, bad times. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. For sure, LadyAna and Rocco, you got me.
Thank you, Janelle. Thank you. Yay!
Yeah, man. Already know.
Yes, indeed. Great people. I tell you this. You know what? We're gonna leave the studio with Janelle definitely with this big song. She said this is a what? How do you call it? It's a. How do you call the word again? Help me out here, man. It's a formation. Yeah.
Affirmation. Yes.
It's an affirmation.
Yes.
You know what?
Yeah.
One thing I must say quickly before we wrap up, what I like about the song have a lot of positive vibes and stuff in it. Because as I said, the song basically sing about day-to-day life, and we all face so many difficult times in our lives and stuff like that. I mean, we all are living in a difficult time. And don't talk. After COVID hit, man, a lot of people lose their job, a lot of people lose their loved one. It has just been crazy. The world just has never been the same. But despite the world has never been the same, what COVID has done, it pushed a lot of us. It make a lot of us think deep within our heart, deep within ourselves. It make a lot of us see things that we never, ever thought ourselves that we would ever see ourselves maybe 20, 30 years ago, 15 years ago. You know what? So despite COVID, take a leap of life, big up the COVID. Because of COVID, UVC radio here. I tell you.
I don't know. I don't know if I would be here. So, you have to
Absolutely. So, Janelle, definitely, it's a pleasure having you, working with you this evening, man. Tell you this, last time, unfortunately, you could have not been here. But you know what to say in life? When the time is right, the time is right.
Yeah, man, of course.
Definitely, the time is right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the time, So big ups to everybody.
Thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you.